make something super cute and wintry. And you could use this for Christmas time, but also it can transition you into those winter months. So this is one of our really cool twig bases, and it's loaded with fun snow. But all these little dudes are wired, and he's already in the shape of a wreath, so easy to work with. But I'm going to show you how to make a cluster that you can use on any type of wreath like this that you can change out for the seasons. So let's get started. So on this particular project, what we're going to use today is I'm going to have some greenery, some fun little curls, and a beautiful poinsettia, because we're going to make this for like Christmas, winter, like that really natural vibe. And then I'm going to use some of this cute ribbon, and this is snow flocked burlap. So you can see I'm going to pick those colors up from the curl and the white poinsettia, and all that's going to match really good on our base. But we're going to make a cluster to put right on here. One of the things I teach in design school is when you make clusters in order to design. So we're going to use some of those elements today to create this. So the first thing I want you to do is take these and just kind of put them aside for a second. We're going to create our base with our greenery. And so I'm going to break this one up. This is one of my favorite stems because it's got some really nice length on here. So I'm going to cut one really long piece here, okay? And then we can leave this all as one long piece, and I'll cut this one. And then we'll have this little bit shorter section we can use kind of in the foreground of our design. So we took that one stem and we divided it into 3 sections. We got a nice little piece left. We'll hold that for another project. All right, and what you're going to want to do is start to kind of develop your cluster just on the table in front of you before you even put it on the wreath. So generally I like a little greenery in the background. So we'll put a little bit going up and a little bit going down because we want this cluster to have an overlap point in the middle. And that's what's happening here, because that's where we're going to need a spot to grab it. And then I want to put my cute little curl in, and without trying to cut this a whole lot, if you just take and just do a little bit of a twist, bada bing, bada boom. Clusters are so fun if you start kind of thinking ahead. And in design school, I teach them how to make really more sophisticated clusters and layering and all that kind of stuff. But this kind of is your basic start right here, what you see us doing right here. So play with it a little. Now, I'm going to add the poinsettia next because that's super pretty. And I want her to sit up here above where the bow is going to go, okay? So we're making this cluster and we're leaving the center section open because that is going to be our transition zone. And you can see how much fun these are to create and how quickly they come together. So can you imagine if you have a wreath making business and you start to implement this as part of your design process, and then pretty soon you can whip out projects faster than you ever thought you could. And that way you keep the cost down when you're reselling. So that's the kind of tips and tricks I teach at design school. So, you know, come back for more so you can keep listening and join us in class as soon as you can, because I don't want you to miss any of this goodness. Now, this right here is that shorter piece, and I'm having that overlap. So all that's in the middle, and it's overlapping right in the center. And we're going to grab just a brown cable tie. I picked out the brown color because that'll coordinate really good with our base. You really won't see it. We're going to get this super tight. Really tight. All right, and then it's going to be time to do our bow. So just take and cut that off, and we're going to tie our bow. Now our bow is pretty easy. It's going to be just a simple jute design in 1.5-inch ribbon. So I'm just going to pick like a nice little tail length, and then I'm going to twist, and we're just going to do a really pretty, nice and loopy bow. And not too big, just a little simple, pretty touch. These are probably about 5-inch loops on here. And I'm just holding that in my hand, working my way up here. I'm going to go a little shorter in the front and twist. One more. So you just twist when you get to the center. And then I should have 2 little pretty tails, maybe one up, one down. Let's see how that's going to look. That looks cute. I like it. Just a little pop in there. So where all those tails kind of cross here, you're going to add a cable tie first and get that nice and tight. And we're going to rotate it to the back just like we normally would. And I'm going to fluff this up. So I've got that going left to right and that one going up and down. I love these kind of projects because they're actually pretty simple, but the effect is just classic and pretty. Now I'm going to dovetail that tail going up. And this tail going down is kind of long, so let's make that into a couple of tails. So I'm going to trim this one, and then we'll come back and add another one to the back here, just by putting one more cable tie in there. No big deal. I'll just put it in. We could have done that from the beginning, but then I decided, oh, I think I want 2 tails. So 2 tails at the bottom, 3 at the back. So don't be afraid. Just keep popping in as many as you want. We're going to cover up that mechanics in the middle. Okay, so now I got my cute little tails kind of popping out. Now let's go ahead and cover the center. So with this particular design, I think I'm going to use a little bit of the greenery in there to cover that center instead of the burlap, just to keep it a little bit different. So let me put this in right here. So let's go ahead and attach it to the whole cluster. Then we'll cover the center. So I'm going to let that tail kind of go right there. And I want this part of the whole bow to go right in that section. So I'm going to just come under here and grab pop it underneath. And I went under that cable tie. And we're going to put it right here. Now, before I do too much, this little area that I'm about to cover, I'm going to steal its greenery right there. I'm going to steal the pine cone. A little bit of greenery, because guess what? We're going to put that in the middle. That's free for the middle. So let's pop this right in. I love it. And you can use clusters for so many different things in your decor, but I'm going to show you how fun they are to add to really cool wreath bases. So the next time you see something really fun and funky, you're not afraid of it. Like, oh, how am I going to work with that? No. You're just excited to work with it. All right, let me grab a little bit of hot glue over here, and we'll put a little in the middle, just right on our cable tie. And then I'm going to put in our little pieces of greenery right there. Pine cone right in the middle. Super cute. All right, let me dovetail these little tails hanging down. I'm going to do that one a little shorter, keep this one long. Look at how much fun you could have. And I'm going to give these bit of a curl. We're going to curl one to the inside, one to the outside. Okay, so you've made your own little cluster. It's the cutest little embellishment. Watch how quickly this comes together. Now grab your twig wreath, and we're going to put this on here right off to the side. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Isn't that adorable? So it's up to you how you want to do it. That's on the left side. Let me make the camera a little bit bigger. And how about, that's the left side, here's the right side. Ooh, let's put it on the right side. I like it right here. Okay, so you have to kind of see where the design's going to overlap with the base. And in our case, it's way up here. So grab one of those brown cable ties and we're going to tie it on right there to hold it. Now, let me tell you something super cute. We're making this one right now for winter. And you could take this cluster off after winter, and you can make you a cute little cluster with Valentine to put on next. And guess what? If you're a seller, you know what you can do? You can offer all those options to your customers too. So keep in mind, when you see something fun and different, how could you utilize a little cluster technique or method in order to make your own beautiful wreath just like this? And it's a completely different style. It's more minimalistic, but yet totally on trend. I know all of your friends would love one. Y'all, come see us in design school. I can't wait to show you what we're making next.